Shalom, Akim. My name's Kayal. This is Kayal Taza. We want to give all glory and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our elders that rule GMS well. And Shalom to the Akim. We're going to bring out Deuteronomy 29, starting with verse 25.
Deuteronomy 29, verse 25. Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord Yahweh of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt.
Okay, so then when they forsaken, that means to forget or to abandon. Right?
For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not and whom he had not given unto them.
Okay, and that breaks the commandment that they went and served other gods, because it says in Exodus 20, verse 2, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay?
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book.
God. So the anger of the Lord, see, in Christianity, they teach you that the Lord's actually quite soft and weak. It's not meekness. Meekness means to be strong but under control. That so-called Cedre Bourget, the Caucasian that they show on the cross, that is weak. That is not meek. But our Lord, read that verse again.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book.
That's why people don't understand the true characteristics of the true living power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because in it, they can't understand that the Lord gets angry. They think anger is a sin. But right here in Exodus 15:3, Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts have he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. I mean, he drowned tons of men for Moses and the children of Israel. He killed firstborn babies for the children of Israel. So you need to get your mind that he's not this little passive pushover with long droopy hair and no spine in his back. The Lord gets very angry, and his anger is worse than any man on this earth. Because we're all corrupted, so we can't even understand righteous anger right now. But read that verse one more time in Deuteronomy. Call it out.
Deuteronomy 29, verse 27. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book.
In this book. And Deuteronomy itself has the curses of Deuteronomy 28. And I could read off some for you. This is Deuteronomy 28. You got 28? You want to read it? And I'll speak about it. I'll start from 15.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall...
Start at 13, actually.
Okay. Deuteronomy 28, 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head, and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy Yahweh, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them.
To observe and to do them, meaning to see the commandments, study them, and also to do them, to act them out. That's why Christians, they don't have the truth. They don't act nothing out. All they act out is wickedness. That's why most of them girls are half naked when they go to church. Also, those are the women that are in the bars in the middle of the night too. But he says here in this verse that if you were to listen to the Lord, if the children of Israel, which were the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans scattered throughout all the nations of this world, we would have been over all the nations. Okay? To observe them, but also to do them. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
So gods, it's a smaller case, but the word gods goes back to powers. Because when people go to stand before like a statue of Virgin Mary or whatever the hell that is, they go over there and they're praying for something. They're asking for some kind of power, maybe protection, money, health, maybe a loved one, a spouse. So they're looking to these other gods, which are powers, that to console them. That's what that's trying to get at. Is when you go after other gods, you're actually chasing another power besides the true power. The true power being Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy Yahweh, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And overtake thee, meaning overpower you. The curses are going to come into your life and it's going to overrule your life. Right.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
You go to the city, you might not be able to find a job all the time, and if you get the job, you're going to be at the smallest money job, smallest level, entry level. You might walk home and get robbed. Women are getting raped. Cops are killing Jake. You might end up in jail, falsely accused. That happened to me, myself, one time. They said I looked like a man that killed a cop, a Denver cop one time. They threw me in jail, no bond. They didn't release me for a week later. When they caught the actual dude in Mexico, they tried to, they released me with nothing, not even a sorry. I mean, you're cursed in the city. Like I said, you could walk down the street and get killed, get raped, get robbed. Cursed in the field. I mean, you're even if you go get a farm, you can't even own the minerals in the ground because the government owns that. The water's polluted. You can't even dig a well to get water for your land. You can't even build multiple structures on your land. You got to go to an Edomite or some kind of heathen to ask permission. So you're cursed in the city and you're cursed in the field. Right?
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
The basket in the store is the basket of your crops. When you would go out, you'd have a crop, and you'd be able to go pluck off the crop and fill a basket. But your crop would go so abundantly, you would actually have enough to store up. That's what I'm saying. Curses even your storage. Most people don't have no more than a week of food in their house, maybe even less than that. So you really don't have no storage at all. In your basket, when you're going to work for $10 an hour and you got to live with a bunch of people just to make rent, your basket is cursed. Yeah.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
Cursed are the children.
And the fruit of thy land.
The food that we eat, it's cursed. It's poison now, GMOs.
The increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep.
The increase of our kind is getting killed. One, you got abortion because women are whores nowadays. And the number one whores are these Jake women. Negro, Latinos, and Native American. They got the nastiest mouths. Most Jake women are out there with skin tight pants showing off their ass. And they act like they're holy women, that they're supposed to be treasured. So, of course, the Ken is declining. Meaning we're not producing children like we're supposed to be doing. That's why you got, one, the abortion clinic, the women on birth control. Most women, Jake women, I've asked women, and they don't want children. They don't even want to be a wife. Because they'd rather be a whore. And men are just as bad. You got freaking homosexuals. Most dudes that go to the joint become homosexuals. That's what that place is for. Is they give you 20 years in prison, and all you're around is a bunch of dudes. You're gonna get popped or be popping. That's the whole point of that setup. It's a fake setup. So our people are so destroyed. That's why our kind, which is our children, our family, are decreased instead of being increased. And our flock, we don't even have a flock. You know what they got? We got nowadays dogs. Dogs don't produce shit, but more dogs. Let's produce more shit. They're talking about sheep here, cattle, livestock that you could actually sell or use for food. You know, we can't even. One time I actually asked the Adams County where I live if I could have chickens, and they told me no. I can't even have one chicken in my own yard, but I could have 4 funky ass dogs. You know why? Because we're cursed, and we're now under the rule of our enemy. Go ahead.
Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Meaning you could be coming home, you get pulled over by a cop, fucking $300 ticket, your ass is grass. You can't even pay your rent. You know? Or you're going out, and some dude's right there at the doorway waiting to rob you. You know? Or you go out to work, and your woman's at home fucking other dudes. You know? Or you coming in, and you catch your bitch with her ass in the air, and another dude stabbing it. You're going to be cursed going, coming. What is it?
Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Meaning this curse doesn't, you have no safety from these curses. Go ahead.
The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto, for to do until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
The wickedness of thy doing, meaning the wicked things you do, the sin that you commit, has made you forget the Lord and His covenant. Go to, I believe it's Romans 9. Yep. Romans 9 verse 4.
Romans 9 verse 4. Who are Israelites?
Who are who?
Israelites.
Yeah, this ain't for Christians. This ain't for Buddhists. This ain't for nobody else but
Israelites.
Okay, start from the top.
Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption?
So who gets the adoption? You know, they in the Christian church they try to say you're adopted in to the blood of Christ. You're grafted in. That's not true because it's only for the Israelites. Right?
And the glory and the covenant.
The covenants. We were just talking about the covenants in Deuteronomy. The covenants that they're talking about in Romans are the same covenants, but they only pertain to the Israelites. These curses that we're under are only going to be upon the Israelites. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises.
And the promises. Go one more verse.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh.
Concerning the flesh. The flesh is kin. If you take that word kin, it's actually bloodline. That's why you have to be an Israelite to receive the promises of the Holy Scriptures. You got to be a bloodline kin of an Israelite. You got to be an Israelite to actually be under the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Go ahead and finish that script.
The flesh Hamashiach came, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen.
Amen. And that means He's over all. Even if you're not His people, He's still over you. Because the heathen, all they are to be is servants to the Israelites. But see, we were weak as men, and we let our women control us. And then we start getting into all this fucking witchcraft and voodoo and all kinds of ugly shit. And then, so the Lord sends an enemy against us. Go ahead and go back to Deuteronomy 28. And it's 48.
Deuteronomy 28, 48.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy 28, 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Sorry, Shalakia. Go back one more verse.
49?
Alright, go to 45. Let's start at 45.
Deuteronomy 28, 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenedest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power.
So, because you didn't listen to the voice, this is the voice of the Lord thy power, Yahweh thy power, right?
to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
Commandments and statutes, well, who has that? That's the Israelites. So because the Israelites didn't keep these commandments, statutes, they were put into captivity. They're cursed people today. Go ahead.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder.
Meaning, you're supposed to, when you're driving, say you're driving from Denver to California, or California to New York, wherever you're going, you have signs. One, to show your location, and two, to show your direction. Right? So these are signs to show you where you're at. If you're being cursed, you know, that's showing that you're an Israelite. If you can put these curses into your life, you fall into place with these curses. That's a very evident that you are an Israelite. But now, right now, because Esau's kingdom's falling, they actually got Edomites, actually in the ghettos right now too. They're riding the bus just like another Jake would. They're at low-level positions just like Jake is, and that's because this kingdom's falling also. But also that's why you need the Spirit to testify with your spirit. And honestly, most Caucasians, Edomites, will actually openly say that they're atheists. They don't believe in a God. They believe in themselves. But let's get back to the script. Go ahead.
And upon thy seed forever.
Upon thy seed, meaning your children are going to be having the same curses. That's why you got generations of alcoholics. That's why you got generations of drug addicts. That's why you got generations of whores. That's why you got generations of faggots. That's why you got generations of whoremongering. And whoremongering is prostitution, IUIC. That ain't multiple wives. Multiple wives is a righteous thing. Whoremongering is a man that goes out and buys prostitutes.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
Meaning you might have done the commandments, but you grope about it. You complain. You cry about it. Oh, I can't eat no more pork, but I love pork. Ugh, I hate this. It's unfair. Sabbath, a day of rest. You know, what else is there? There's even the 7 holy days that we have, the 7 feasts. You know, people don't even care to deal with those, but they want to celebrate Christmas. They want to do Easter. They want to do all these damn pagan holidays, but don't give a shit about the Lord. That's why it says, because you didn't serve him with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Go ahead, 48.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Okay, so in the want of all things, do you have a water pump in your yard? And even if you do, you still got to pay the government a certain tax for that property. And who runs that government? And for water, if you don't have nothing like that, who controls the water that's pumped in your house through your faucets? The city. Who controls the city? Food. Who owns Walmart? Who owns King Soopers? Who owns McDonald's? Who owns Burger King? Who owns 7-Elevens? Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans do not own any of that. We do not own nothing. Now, you might find one Jake with a farm that was passed down, but he still ain't doing nothing great that he could actually provide for his whole family, let alone the whole community on it. And even if he is, he still has to go to the Caucasian to get permits to do what he's doing. And he still has to pay that tax. That tax is a tribute to the king. So no matter what you do, you can't get away from these curses. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed you.
Now he don't even have to have a yoke of iron on your neck. You Jakes are so damn destroyed. You got Jake women dyeing their hair. They want blue eyes. They want white skin. They hate themselves. They can't even love their own children, let alone a husband. The men are just as freaking weak and dumb like a chick. They're emotionally wrecked. You know? All they think about is